Hey, we're Fontaines D.C. and this is about last night.
To be honest, I think we have the gig of the week because tonight we are at the 6th anniversary of Show to Shows, and I have joining me Carlos from Fontaines D.C. Carlos, thanks a million for joining us.
Thank you, thank you.
Welcome to About Last Night. I want to jump in and start talking immediately about your album that you're just about to release on the 12th of April. It's called Dogrel, and the bio is that Dogrel is a crude, traditionally Irish working class form of verse historically looked down upon by literary critics.
Yeah.
What's the significance of that in terms of what you're trying to express in your album?
I think a lot of the drive behind this band came from like just writing poetry and reading poetry and sharing that, and then that kind of like just naturally ended up feeding into the songs, and the album is just like, I don't know, it's like a collection of like snapshots of Dublin, and we wanted to name the album something that was relevant to that poetry, kind of like time that we had together, and Dogrel just seemed like a good name for it. I mean, the whole like, it's a type of poetry that's like free verse, and like it doesn't stick to kind of guidelines or anything like that, and something that we liked a lot. And
Anything to do with kind of like social or cultural elitism, like harking back to Joyce's time when he's writing Ulysses,
Yeah.
how that was the first that the first chapter is incomprehensible because there's two fingers to the cultural elite that made it very difficult for the common man to be literate effectively.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't like the whole idea that poetry has to be like, the as you're saying, yeah, it's been just picky about what poetry is and what is good and bad in terms of like how educated you are. I don't think we don't think that poetry for us was something that was special and just meant that we were really like excited about life. Well, that's what we found in poetry, and that's what we kind of like when we did that phase where we like wrote a lot of poetry together and wrote a couple of books and put them, kind of like self-published these like little books, and we just kind of wanted to like have this as something that anyone could do, and that the joy we were getting from it was something that anyone could do. You don't need to like have read loads of poetry before, or you don't need to know anything about literature to do this. It's just something that comes out and just comes from you, and that's acceptable then, and then we like the other side of it was like it's usually from critics it would have been like a term used for something that was bad. Dogrel, that's a piece of doggerel. It's poetry. It's not good. It's just a piece of doggerel, and that's. I mean, I guess it just fed into the idea of rock and roll and how like rock and roll is just
Anarchic a little bit.
Yeah. And we consider ourselves a rock and roll band, and obviously people might have been like, big musicians and big like music critics and stuff. Rock and roll might be too simple for some people, and that sometimes is a bad thing for some people.
Yeah.
So we don't think it is, but we thought that the way poetry was looked at like that just was the same way rock and roll might be looked at from certain musicians, or like, that was it.
No, I totally understand that. Just following on from that a little bit, like I know that you guys met in music college in Dublin, but it was your shared love of poetry that really drew you together, a kind of romanticism for Gaelic literature and kind of Irish culture. And I heard in an interview recently, I think it was Green who was talking about having a nostalgia for a time that's actually not yet past, talking about like the gentrification of the inner city. Do you feel that your music is, because I find there's a bit of a kind of an air of kind of post-punk sound to your music, that kind of anarchic fight back against the establishment type of thing. Do you feel that we're becoming a little bit pacified in Irish culture and that music is a way to kind of revive that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, for us it's just like, it's what we do, and like, I think we usually just like, none of us have ever seen like art as a way of like campaigning, and it's just more so to talk about what's around you and make sense of it all, and that's what we've always done, like individually. We all just wrote about what's around you and what's inside you, and it's never in any kind of like way of like looking for a reaction of change.
There's no social commentary there.
I think there's social commentary, but there's no I guess we're not like campaigning for anything,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
We just like write about what we see and what how that makes us feel, you know. And
Close to your heart.
yeah, exactly. And that just happens to be in a lot of those songs that are in this album. And from Green's perspective, that just happens to be Dublin a lot, you know. And but it's not like we're not like you know, trying to like point out all the things that are wrong about society to in order to change them.
What you kind of feel yourselves.
Yeah, exactly. To make sense of it, you know, and for like something that you're not happy with, if you can make a piece of art from it, then at least it's, you know, it means something, you know, and it's like it's there for a long, you know, just
For generations to come.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, something that's certainly been around for a long time is your single "Too Real" that is nominated for Irish Song of the Year 2018. Congratulations! And congratulations on releasing Dogrel as well, because they're massive milestones in any band's career. So, are you very excited about that? Like, I know no one gets into it for awards or anything like that, but it'd be lovely to win it.
Yeah.
What's that whole experience been like?
I mean, we were just told when we were in the van one day, like we got an email and said, and then I think it's really like, it's nice from RT. Like RT have been a huge support, you know, and like Dan Haggerty has supported us loads, and you know, whoever, I don't know his name, but I know the guy. He's kind of like he co-started Eurosonic, and he's one of the heads of RT, and he's given us a lot of help and a lot of push, and you know, I appreciate all that so much.
Let's get that acclaim.
Yeah. And then that they put us into that the prize. I think it's really nice of them. I don't think there's no way that song is going to win at all. And I've got a problem with like best song of the year being decided by a public vote, because it doesn't have anything to do with something being better or worse. It just has to do with what's popular and the amount of followers. And I mean, you know, that award is like, there's the other like people nominated. It's just people like Niall Horan and like, I don't know, like
There's some good ones in there now, to be fair. Like,
no, I'm not saying like then, but what I'm saying is that like he is obviously huge, and like Hosier is huge, and I love Hosier, and I think he's a fucking great person. But like that, like it's just nothing to do with like how good or bad something is, and I don't think anyone has like a right to say something is better than anything else. But like it doesn't really mean that much to me, because it's just like it's just. When it comes to the vote, the public vote, I just think I don't think there's a place for that in it's just, I don't know, there's something that's like not really like, it just doesn't make sense, because then no one's like, you're not playing into the same game, you know, you're playing different leagues and that kind of.
In terms of like, obviously whoever has the biggest following is pretty much going to win. Well, I hope you get a couple of votes anyways. If anyone's watching tonight, certainly you can log on to RT Choice Music Prize and vote for Fontaines D.C. if they'd like to. No, I'm enthusiastic anyways, mate. I came out of the womb like this, unfortunately.
Will vote for that and has voted, you know what I mean? That's great, you know.
Yeah.
It means something to them, and that's great.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
1 second.
Yeah.
Look, apart from anything else, it's great to get the notoriety. It's great to be, and to kind of have the appreciation of your peers and of the likes of RT, as you were saying.
Yeah, exactly.
That, like, you know, that you're being acknowledged as being certainly one of the.
That's something that means a lot to us, you know. And the
Yeah,
people
exactly.
RT have been huge for us, you know, and they've been big supporters. And I mean,
Well, so am I, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty more here tonight. Like, I'm really looking forward to the whole kind of the show to shows 6th anniversary. It's going to be absolutely massive. Unfortunately, that is all we have time for tonight. Thanks to everyone from DJ Cormac to Loa to Optimo, and obviously to Carlos from Fontaines D.C. Thanks to everyone at home for watching. If there's a gig that you have coming up that you'd like us to cover, please subscribe to Irish Media Network's YouTube channel, give us a comment, or let us know at About Last Night on Instagram and Facebook, or at ALN_IE on Twitter. Take it easy, folks. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.